Welcome back to Arise Prime Time. I'm Charles Anyegolu, and I have a guest commentator with me for the rest of the program who'll be giving his thoughts on the news and issues of the day. And he is the current affairs analyst and professor of communications at Baze University in Abuja, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. Great to see you, Prof.
Thank you, Charles. Good to see you.
Let's start with the unfolding crisis in Rivers State. And the chairman of the APC in Rivers State was our first guest. I had thought that he'd be welcoming with open arms the defections of the lawmakers from the PDP, but he clearly is almost saying, don't come any closer because I don't know what you guys are going to do. What do you reckon?
I think it's just an irony, and of course it looks like an anticlimax to me. But it's not unexpected, because some of these politicians are actually very cantankerous. And it's causing a lot of confusion in that state, where you begin to sympathize with the people of the state. Because if we're having this back and forth, the powers that be at loggerheads, and where is the time for statecraft? What time will they have for governance? It's a crisis that has started, and it's a crisis that is sure to snowball, because of the egos involved, And of course, we know that this defection is not just a decision by those who are actually defecting. Somebody somewhere is orchestrating it.
Absolutely.
And, you and I know how how gung-ho that person can be. But I think we need...
He who must not be named, the way you're saying it.
But I think we need some kind of intervention. We need somebody somewhere higher than all the parties to actually come in, and suit nerves, because at least in the interest of the people of the state, because resources are being wasted, time is going, and this is the time that we need good governance, but the people have been denied this good governance. Much talked about good governance that we're all advocating for, and of course it's also a disservice to the larger atmosphere of democracy, because we are having very minor interest, affecting the interest of the whole, far beyond the state, and you do not know how it will end. That is the sad thing.
That's what's so worrying, isn't it? Because you have to wonder what the end game is here in this fight between these two people. I mean, particularly from the point of view of Nyesom Wike. I mean, is it to embarrass...
We're finally naming him.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, we already named him. But is it to embarrass Governor Fubara into submission, to weaken him in his defiance, or to force him to resign from office? You have to wonder what the end game is.
I think there's a problem of understanding here, because he chose him above all other contestants.
But obviously they've fallen out.
Yeah, but why would they fall out? Ordinarily, shortly after the man became governor, there should have been an understanding beforehand. So it also tells us something about, the leadership qualities of the person who chose him in the first instance, which means that there's the problem of, a shortfall in far-sightedness. You probably should have seen the potentials of this person. That's why you believed in him. And of course, a few months after he was sworn in, you're now falling out with him. So what is the problem? Is it a problem of judgment? You knew him very well. You blessed him above all other contestants. Even in the very controversial circumstances, you stood by him where forces were massed against you, and you withstood all those forces, and now you just come in, you want to get him out of that office against the background of how difficult it can be to get a governor out in this country. Don't forget, Charles, that we've already lost a whole state House of Assembly. It's been burnt down. Nobody's talking about it. Resources are going to be recommitted, to bring back that building. That's a lot of money going down the drain. An institution where such money will have been diverted to something else. And in the circumstance, I just see the governor looking like a helpless person, because I don't know what he can do, but in any case, he couldn't have said no to the temptation of being a governor.
Of asserting himself.
That's right.
I mean, that's really the key issue here, isn't it? That the governor, who is the executive governor and has executive powers, asserts himself as the governor.
I think it's a natural way, a natural thing that we'll have expected. And that's why I'm saying that maybe Minister Wike should have expected it, that at some point, he is going to assert himself. It's just human, but perhaps some lessons should be taken from the president of the country, who was directly or indirectly in charge of Lagos for a very long time. And when somebody wanted to assert himself, he showed him the exit. How did he do it? It shows again that there's some quality.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're supporting that godfatherism. You're saying somebody tries to assert themselves, you show him the door. I mean, what's the point of having someone if they're
we're just trying to compare
Right.
comparison between two unpalatable circumstances. That's the facts before us. We are seeing godfatherism playing out very well in one area, and in another area is not playing out well. So it just invites some level of comparison.
Yeah, but I would suggest that in Lagos that you're talking about, those people were actually allowed to assert themselves because there was some talent that was seen in them, and that talent was allowed to germinate and unfold. And to that extent, it became of great benefit to the people of Lagos State.
And of course, great benefit to the people of Lagos State because somebody was there pulling the strings, and he was large-hearted enough, not to feel threatened, not to feel...
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Yeah. He elevated himself above whatever was happening, and in that process as well, he earned his respect and became like a demigod, and see where it has brought him now, no matter how I want to look at it. But in this case, we just see somebody who wanted to replicate that, and it seems to be backfiring because it's definitely not helping matters. We'll probably just have to plead that it doesn't matter how he feels, it should just prioritize the interest of the people.
That's a very good point.
Pride, prestige, ego.
That's a very good point. So we'll have to watch and see what happens going forward. But we've got less than 60 seconds, and I'd like to get your take on this healthcare blueprint that was launched today by President Tinubu.
No doubt a good development, another wonderful initiative. But we're always having initiatives in this country, apart from the razzmatazz of opening ceremonies, soon after the launch, we'll begin to see people probably going back to sleep. So we need execution, we need implementation, consistency, so that there can be sustainability, service delivery. And people should again be concerned about serving the community, not self-aggrandizement. We also can imagine that this is coming because of what we anticipated, that we had a minister who is well-connected, who is well-traveled, and he can bring about some change in that ministry. This is probably the byproduct of the stature of that minister. So beyond the initiative, beyond the launch, Charles, we need implementation.
Absolutely.
We need to see sustainability so that we can sing hallelujah finally.
On that note, I want to thank you very much indeed. Very wise words. Professor Abiodun Adeniyi is a current affairs analyst and professor of communications at Baze University in Abuja. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and Port Harcourt, bye-bye and thank you for watching.